r/ask Reddit. What is a life hack that seems fake, but is a true lifesaver? If you're having trouble staying awake in class at a meeting, see how long you can keep one of your feet lifted slightly off the ground. Class in 2 hours and I haven't slept at all. Perfect timing. Let us know if it works. P. If a man is in an accident, car, ladder fall, etc., and he gets an erection, don't move him. He has a spinal injury. At what point do I stop blowing him? Upon ejaculation. Continuing after that will probably cause a seizure. During pollen season, rinse your hair before bed, otherwise you're just depositing pollen on your pillowcase every night and then rolling your face in it all night, and then multiply that by how many nights you use the same pillowcase. You're genius. 4 out of the 5 people in my family have super bad allergies. I mean, like, the allergy tests came back with pages of stuff we're allergic to, and long hair. I usually just change my pillow cover every other day during spring, but I'll try this tonight. My friends always said I was weird because I prefer showering at night over showering in the morning. I love crawling into bed and feeling all clean and soft, and I have just always felt like I sleep better after a good hot shower. I have terrible hay fever allergies and dust mite allergies. This made me realize I'm probably literally sleeping better after a shower because it helps me breathe better through the night. What a eureka moment. Rubbing vegetable oil, or any cooking oil, on your hands after you cut up jalapenos or other hot peppers. It gets rid of the awfulness that would normally be left on your hands from the peppers. I rub my hands with oil and then wash it off with dish soap. I can totally remove my contacts after doing this. It's crazy how well this works. I don't know if I trust advice coming out of Paul Rudd's butthole. That rubbing alcohol removes chewing gum. I'd go through a 20-layer deep marketing funnel to get to that tip because it really does work. Also, wow, thank you for all of the awards, nice Redditors. I completely forgot I left this comment and came back and my notifications had blown up. Rubbing alcohol works to get paint off clothes also. All my clothes have paint on them. Thank you for this. True lifesaver. If you are ever attacked by a dog, push your forearm into the bite. This pries the jaws apart and prevents them from clamping down. If a dog is attacking you, the best thing you can do is offer your forearm. Push as far back as possible, and then grab the dog by the scruff of its neck with your other hand to hold it. The dog is now functionally muzzled and you have control of its head. The sooner and harder you push into the bite, the less damage the bite will do. This is a good rule for human bites too. Just so you know, push and don't pull. This is also what you do when your teething baby chomps down on you when breastfeeding. Mush them into your boob, not yell and drop the baby, though it's hard to remember that in the heat of the moment. Yell at your vacuum cleaner to get your dogs to stop barking at it. I read that dogs look to their owners to see how they react to things. I sat on the floor and had my wife run into me with the vacuum. It worked so well that now the dog won't move out of the way, even for the robot vacuum. Kids are kinda like that too. They'll gag the reactions of others to know how to react. It's really useful for keeping kids calm when they get a bump or scrape, i.e., they won't be as likely to freak out if you don't. With my 2 kids, they were terrified of the vacuum for years. Finally I sat down on the floor with them and proceeded to put the vacuum hose in my hair, against my face, etc. Just show them it just sucked, but not that hard. Immediately there was a full reversal in their reaction to the vacuum, and within hours I had them vacuuming themselves. If your ring gets stuck on your finger, Windex will slide it right off. Worked at a jewelry store for 5+ years. Put Windex on anything. Are you an older Greek man by chance? Using your turn signal actually can help other drivers know which direction you plan to go and makes driving safer for everyone. This one can be a real lifesaver. Whenever you accidentally set off your smoke alarm, give your pets a treat so they learn to come to you when there actually is a fire and you need to escape. I feel like you would need to set your fire alarm off with a concerning amount of frequency for this to be effective. Or make a concerning amount of bacon. If you have the right of way, take it. It makes driving more predictable and therefore caused fewer accidents. Yes, don't be nice, be predictable. As I was raised, it's more important to be predictable than polite. Also, a good driver sometimes misses their exit. A bad driver never misses their exit. Counting really slowly with the goal of reaching 150 is a decent way to fall asleep. If you have any thoughts during it, just let them play out. And if you forget what number you're on, just go from what you last remember. If you make any major movements, just start again. The goal is to force your brain into slowing down and not having any jerky motions or thoughts, and eventually reaching such a level of carelessness that you eventually fall asleep without realizing. Helped me quite a few times, especially with rain sounds. Hope it helps some of you too. I try to count backwards from 200. I'm usually out before I reach 100. It gives my brain something to do while my body calms down, but it's boring enough that it makes my mind wander, so eventually I stop counting and fall asleep. All your kindling for a fire is wet and all you have is matches and snacks. Any corn chip will light into a ball of flames. A dollop of hand sanitizer saved me when free camping in Scotland, but this is good to know too. Putting super glue on cotton, gauze, cotton ball, Q-tips causes a reaction hot enough to start a fire. If your car is overheating, turn your heat on full blast. When you turn the heat on in a car, it pulls heat from the engine into the cab, thus cooling the engine. I was taught this in driver's ed 23 years ago. When in high school my buddy's car would run really hot, I told him to turn the heat on. He wouldn't. I had to convince him it was true by saying I would pay for resulting damage if the temp didn't go down. It was the winter time, and that heat was so dang hot we had to roll the windows down. But we watched his engine temp drop. I don't believe it's especially uncommon, but if no one ever told you, it would seem counterintuitive. Edit. You go to sleep and tell your wife, hey, I made a comment and it has like 400 likes. Then you wake up and you're 6y. Lifetime karma has doubled. I do hope it helps someone, somewhere, sometime that didn't already know about it. A few things as a response to some common comments. This doesn't work on electric cars depending on your mechanical issue. It may not work at all. It has worked for a lot of people with evidence in this chain. Those junior to me learned this from Dairy of a Wimpy Kid. Those around my generation learned this from Hank Hill. If I can have a millionth of the influence of Hank Hill, I'll take it. Also, King of the Hill reboots news. If you want to know how it works better than me saying it pulls heat off the engine, ask your mechanic or look for those that explained it better in this thread. This is not a permanent fix. This is to get you somewhere to safely address this issue. If you can't afford repairs and do this long term, you are gambling. Know when to hold M. Know when to fold M. You read all these comments? I hope you have a great day. Going from Southern CA to Las Vegas. There are signs in the desert that tell you to do this. I was skeptical at first, but it really did work like a charm. Makeup remover on deodorant stains. Vixella randomly brought it up while talking to chat on Twitch. My husband has a lot of t-shirts with white stained armpits, so I gave it a shot. It worked. Oh, edit. I should probably clarify that I used remover wipes. Just a generic store brand pack of cleansing towelettes on my husband's old antiperspirant stained t-shirts from his bachelor days. He switched to a non-staining deodorant a while back. There are a lot of other helpful hacks for this issue added in replies. I'll have to try denim or dryer sheets next time I find a stain to try it on. Equals. Really? Just put it on and wash it? I have to try that. Yep, I just used some store brand remover wipes and it pretty much came right out. From the amazing book The Gift of Fear by Gavin D. Becker, a woman alone who needs assistance is actually far better off choosing someone and asking for help, as opposed to waiting for an unsolicited approach. The person you choose is nowhere near as likely to bring you hazard as the person who chooses you. I've taught this to my children. If you're lost, find someone before someone finds you. I always tell them to find someone with a name badge on. I tell kids to look for adults with other kids. It usually means that those are safe adults. Clean jewelry with dish soap, since other cleaning supplies might scratch it, like hand soap or anything that exfoliates or chemically react with the metals. Usually that's harsh cleaning supplies. And dish soap is intended to clean glass and ceramic without scratching it and silverware without reacting with the metal, etc. You missed the Dawn thread above. Dawn can regrow hair, charge your phone, and soft boil an egg. Big Dawn has gotten to yet another person. Run your wrists under cold water or rub an ice cube on your pulse points to cool down all over quickly when you get overheated. It seems obvious, but I didn't realize it until last summer working in a warehouse with no AC. Also something I learned in the army on extremely hot days on the range. If you need to cool yourself immediately, dunk your arms about halfway between your elbow and shoulder in ice water. Probably will need a bucket or cooler. For about 20-30 seconds. Then lift your arms over your head straight up and you'll literally feel your body completely cool from top to bottom as it moves down. If you're working outside and it's very hot, just have it ready just in case. It's required by the army once it gets hot enough to have sheets in ice water to cool anyone that becomes a heat casualty. So it makes sense if you're out mowing your yard or doing work when it's hot. This thread is what LPT aspires to be. If you've written on a dry erase board, or any glossy surface, with a permanent marker, like a Sharpie, just draw over it with a dry erase marker and it will wipe right off. I had a co-worker in my last job years ago draw a huge dong on a printer. For a little context, we worked in the oil field, so yeah, perpetual man-child behavior. It's okay. I used a dry erase marker, but you didn't draw it on a dry erase board. Now did ya, dumbus? It's okay. Just draw over it with a permanent ink marker and it'll come right off. Smell is closely associated with memory. If you're studying for an exam, buy an odd scented eraser, like pickle scent. Every time you try to memorize something, take a sniff. Take that eraser to the test and sniff it when you're having trouble remembering an answer. This works with chewing gum and food as well. I always eat McDonald's breakfast before a certification test, and I cannot take those tests without it now. I've read this works with chewing gum as well. Chew the same flavor when studying and when writing your test. Being extra nice to strangers when you need help will get you really far, oftentimes further than you expect. Customer service especially. Seriously, the secret to getting amazing customer service is to just use your manners. It's my job to help you out where I can. But if you're nice, I'll probably move heaven and earth for you. This is true, but that's not the reason my husband and I are nice to people in customer service positions. We are nice because everyone deserves to be treated with kindness. However, we always get amazing customer service. Use shaving cream as anti-fog. I used it on the inside of my motorcycle visor. Smear it on, let it dry, then rinse off and dry. It also works for bathroom mirrors. You can use it on a small spot so you can still see when you get out of the shower. Shaving cream also removes the smell of urine. If you ever have to take care of someone who is old and or sick and who wets the bed, a little shaving cream on a rag wiped over their buttocks after they are thoroughly cleaned up helps them really smell clean again. It's a bit of a sad tip, I know, but you never know when you might end up caring for someone who needs help with things like this. Nobody wants to smell. A dab of shaving cream to restore a bit of dignity? Priceless. Learn how to fall, where to hit, how to disperse energy. It can really save you an uncertain situation. I see that you know your judo well. As an avid motorcycle racer and someone who crashes a lot, people are always amazed as to how I bounce. Nope. Just 20 years of competitive judo. Write a list and cross shit off when you accomplish the teensiest thing. It builds momentum. Sometimes when I do insignificant tasks that I previously hadn't put on my to-do list, like brushing my teeth or putting my pajamas in the hamper in the morning, I'll put it on my list just so I can cross them off. Definitely builds momentum. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.